Hey there, today we'll be painting Klaus Copperthumb the Dwarf Thief from Reaper Miniatures to the Ultimate Level standard. Make sure you always recycle your packaging. First thing we want to do is take a sharp blade and clean the casting line off the model. Be very careful, make sure you always cut away from yourself. Ultimate Level minis come with a base and some gravel. Get yourself some super glue and carefully stick him to his base. Then dab some super glue on top of the base, sprinkle it with gravel and then dip it in salt to fill in the gaps. First step in painting is base coating him with a mix of earth brown and pure black. I've used my airbrush for this, but you can do it by hand. Cover the top of his base in pure black. When this is dry, mix up some fair highlight and pure black together and using an old brush, wipe most of the paint off on a tissue. Lightly dry brush this across the sand on his base to bring out the detail. Then add a bit more fair highlight to the mix and repeat. We're going to paint his cloak and hood first as they're the largest area. Base coat it with a mix of about 4 parts Imperial Purple to 1 part pure black. Layer this up by adding more Imperial Purple in, and only painting the raised folds of the cloak, leaving the previous layer in the recesses. Now add a bit of amethyst purple to the mix and layer it up again, taking care to paint a smaller area this time and leave the previous layer showing at the edges. Repeat these steps, progressively adding more amethyst purple to the mix. Finish off his cloak and hood by painting amethyst purple on its own at the very edges. Paint his brown clothing by layering over the base coat with earth brown. Like with his cloak, add some leather brown to your earth brown and paint a smaller area. Keep adding more and more leather brown to the mix and paint a smaller area each time, concentrating on the upper surfaces where the light will catch and leaving the darker colour in the shadows. Finish this stage by using pure leather brown to paint the very edges of his clothing. Base coat is fine leather boots with pure black. Add a bit of fair highlight to this mix and layer up the boots, leaving the black in the creases and shadows. Continue adding more fair highlight and repeat the layering, focusing your efforts towards the edges until you're painting the very edge with a 50-50 mix of the two colours. Paint his metal areas like his weapons, armour and belt buckles with a mix of honed steel darkened slightly with pure black. Layer this with honed steel on its own. And finish this off with an edge highlight of polished silver to make those sharp edges really stand out. Base coat both his skin and beard with leather brown. Add some golden blonde to your leather brown and use this to paint his facial hair. Add a little more golden blonde and layer his beard up, before finishing off with golden blonde on its own. It's at this point I remembered I should have painted the hilt of his sword with amber gold, so let's do this now. Layer up his skin with fair skin, avoiding the gaps between his fingers, his eye sockets, etc. Finally, finish off with fair highlight and paint the prominent areas of his skin, like his nose, his cheekbones and his knuckles. And with that, the model is finished. Make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and check out our other tutorials. We'll see you next month.